The things you do for yourself are gone when you are gone, but the things you do for others remain as your legacy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the FMS Founders Day celebrations 2025. It is truly an honor to have you all here at the LPS Auditorium, New Delhi. In 2015, the FMS Forum, a not-for-profit society, was formed by a group of passionate, distinguished alumni in the spirit of Guru Dakshina, that is, unconditionally giving back to the alma mater with gratitude and respect. It is largely funded by alumni membership and funds generated from events. The Dean of FMS, University of Delhi, is its patron. The prime objective of the forum has been to create an intellectual platform through the global alumni network's strategic leadership inputs, collective experience, and pooled financial resources. It has resolved to continuously raise and establish the stature of brand FMS as a top-notch contemporary and thought-leading management institute ranked among the best. Today we gather to celebrate the legacy of FMS and explore the theme, Future of Work, Challenges and Opportunities in the Coming Decade. We're privileged to have with us today Mr. Naveen Kapur, who took over as the president of the FMS Forum in July last year. He is an economics graduate from St. Stephen's College, law graduate from Law Faculty, Delhi University, and MBA from FMS and attended IIFT. While a student at FMS, he took class in microeconomics. He has a passion for travel, wove his career around it in international marketing, having traveled to more than 137 countries, including those where angels fear to tread. He has been the president of the international division of Apollo Tyres Group and is currently an executive director of a group company. Naveen has been the Sherpa to the India chapter of BRICS Business Council since its inception in 2013. To begin this special evening, I would like to invite the president of the FMS Forum, Mr. Naveen Kapur, to the dais to deliver the welcome address. Mr. Kapur, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Subiksha, for your generous introduction. I am delighted to be here. It's kind of homecoming for me. I left FMS more than 40 years ago, and whenever one comes back, it's like coming home, where you belonged. I would like to start first with salutations for the important guests here. Professor A. Venkatraman, Dean, Faculty of Management Studies, University of Delhi. Professor S.P. Gupta, former Dean, 1999 to 2001, and our statistics teacher. Never had, when I joined FMS, statistics was not a good subject that I liked. But when I passed out, it became my favorite subject thanks to Professor S.P. Gupta. Esteemed faculty members, present and past, who have actually molded and shaped and given us a foundation to all of us to do well in our careers subsequently. Mr. Vijay Agarwal and Mrs. Mona Agarwal. Mr. Vijay Agarwal is the chairman and managing director of Action Construction Equipment and, more importantly, a co-alumnus of FMS. We have in our midst another co-alumnus, Mr. Anurag Mathur from Bain & Company. When talking about alumni, I'm very happy to say that I have another two alumni, not from FMS, but from my alma mater, St. Stephen's College. Mr. Ambassador Ajay Bisaria, who is the Corporate Strategic Advisor and Distinguished Fellow at ORF, and more importantly, one of the most accomplished diplomat that India has ever had, because he was given one of the toughest postings to Pakistan, which is not something that, where it's a difficult posting and only accomplished diplomats go to that country. Then we have Dr. Ratin Roy, also an economics graduate from St. Stephen's College, but a later vintage. He is the professor of Kautilya School of Public Policy and visiting professor at ODI. I would like to also recognize our special invitees, Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni, Could I just request him to please stand so that the audience could see you? You know why I said Nilesh Kulkarni? Because if there was an award to be given to the most interesting alumnus of FMS, that would be Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni. Very interesting career. He first joined a paint company, decided that was not his kettle of fish. So what he does is, he puts in his papers, sets up a small business, and deliberately keeps it small because he wanted to do other things in life. And what are the other things that he followed his passion on? First one was being a stage actor in Marathi plays, followed by giving commentary to more than 200 matches where India has played in cricket, followed by, we can just go on, he dubbed for Hindi cinema, and one of the accomplished, I would say, actors that he dubbed for was none else but Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. The story doesn't end here. The story doesn't end here. He is now a best-selling author. He's already authored 5 books, and he has 3 in the pipeline. So here is a graduate of FMS who took a path less traveled. And he, if you read the brochure, has written an article about himself, that it's not necessary that you have to run after materialistic things. You can do a small business, like in his words, to keep home and hearth together and follow your passion. So that's Nilesh Kulkarni. Another special invitee we have is Mr. Yogesh Sachdeva. I would like him to please stand up so that people can see you. He is the secretary of the FMS Alumni Association. And last evening, on the 15th, there was an FMS alumni dinner, which I'm told more than 700 alumni attended at the Habitat. And he did all the heavy lifting. And just a small telephone call for him to join this. He said he was tired, but he'll make it for this special occasion. Thank you very much. I would also like to introduce Sumita Karir, the Deputy Editor and Anchor of ET Now, who will be moderating the panel discussion. Now coming to the students, MSA, Yatin Miglani, Gaurav Singh, and Vineet Dagar, and all the other students of full-time FMS. This time we wanted to integrate the executive program also, so students from there. So Professor Venkatraman gave me the telephone number of one Mr. Rakesh Ray, who is from the South Campus, and I'm very happy to say that he is also amongst us today. Thank you. Then all students of full-time and executive program batches, members of FMS Forum, and guests from industry and academia. I think that was a long introduction, but I thought it was worth it because all of you have taken a trouble to come here on a Sunday evening. Now today, coming to the Founders Day for which we have all gathered, it is truly an honor and privilege to welcome all of you for the 71st Founders Day of FMS. Today we recognize and celebrate the vision of Professor Dasgupta and the founding team that laid the foundation of FMS. We also acknowledge the teaching facility, the faculty, past, present, students, as well as the alumni who've carried the torch of excellence for which FMS stands. And today FMS, after 70 years, is today one of the foremost business schools of India. I'm very happy to inform that besides many accolades and awards that FMS has been awarded in the recent times, the latest is the best business school for equitable access to MBA campus by Business World, which is the latest accolade that we have got. You know, in the morning today, when I was just preparing for this talk, I just Googled something and I found some very astonishing figures. Harvard Business School, which is supposedly the best place on this earth to do MBA from, gets 10,000 applications. And guess what is their acceptance rate? Would anybody like to take a guess? I am sorry, all of you are wrong. It is 11.5%. And I compared that with the figures of FMS. This year, 36,000 applicants have applied for FMS. And what is the success rate? 360, which makes it 1%. So I would like to say in front of everybody here, to get into Harvard Business School, your parents have to have deep pockets, which go right up to your ankle. But to get an FMS, you have to have merit. And that is why I should tell all the students here, you are that 1% who left 99% of the people behind you, so you have a bright future where you are. And I wish you all the success. Now, talking about FMS Forum, I will not repeat what Subiksha has just told us about it. There are basically 3 pillars that we have at the FMS Forum. One is that it is an intellectual platform where we invite thought leaders and business leaders and leaders from any other areas to come and share their knowledge and their stories with these students. Last year, we had Mr. Deep Kalra, another Stephanian, who we invited to talk to the students on a fireside on MakeMyTrip.com Limited, his company, and how he started in the private sector, failed in the sector that he was working in. Then he started this company in a very small way, and today it's a $10 million company. Second, we've invited a very distinguished panel of Anurag Mathur, Dr. Ratin Roy, and Ambassador Ajay Bisaria, who will also be sharing your views during the panel discussions. You see, when we came here, there was another thing that we had for this thing is where we want to blend experiential learning with classroom teaching, because whatever is taught in the classroom is good to build a foundation, but when you go out to the world, there we have Mr. Sundar Hemrajani and Mr. Sudhir Nair, who were taking classes and giving a perspective on what is it outside the classroom. And the third pillar that we have worked on is of making enduring relationships amongst the alumni. And today I'm understanding that there are 9,000 strong alumni that we have at FMS. So how to build the linkages. Now coming to this topic that we have today is future of work, challenges and opportunities in the coming decade. I was today remembering when I was a student in the 1980s, there were no laptops, there were no internet, there was no social media, there was no University of WhatsApp. We had only one university, that was University of Delhi. And I remember my project report when I gave it, if somebody had seen it, it was complete mayhem. Because there was this clit-clat, that Remington Rand typewriter that we used to work on. When you finish it, it said tring. And then after that, when you made a mistake, you had to put white fluid on it. And if you saw my report, it was a complete mayhem on the paper. But then what we learned is, today, of course, things have changed, but they say that more things change, the more they remain the same. What we've done then is, we used to use the fluid and repair it. Today, we still, in our relationships, wherever we have a problem, we are the repair, not replace generation. If something goes wrong, even in the private sector, if you ask me, I've spent 40 years working, and I have had only 2 or 3 jobs in my career. If we had a problem, we repaired it. But with technology changes, we've also learned how to handle laptops, we can handle a lot of things. Likewise, when the future changes, we also evolve along with that. There was a time when they said, you learn once, work forever. That will not happen anymore. Times have changed, you have to adapt with the times. When I was just driving down to this place, I remembered when we were students, we used to have what is called a convention at the Ashoka Hotel, Many speakers used to come and we used to run to collect the amounts to fund that function. Good speakers we came across, but two lessons that we were taught. I still keep it very close to my heart. One was, know yourself. Know what is your DNA and make your career around your DNA. That's very, very important. Because then what happens is you're following your passion and work happens as a result. So that is why when I see Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni or Ambassador Ajay Bisaria, Mr. Ajay Bisaria is modern school, St. Stephen's College. I am Calcutta. He decided that he could have had the best of private sector careers. He said, no, I want to work for the government. And he joined the Indian Foreign Service. So and I've come across another FMS graduate who, after topping, is today a stand-up comedian. And he's making a lot of money. So the name of the game is follow your passion. That was the first thing that we learned. The second and more important was that in Philip Kotler's book, they talk about 4 P's of marketing. But there is a 5th P, which is very important, which is personal relationship. If you ask me, there is a very strong fact that I have seen all my life in my international career, that the buyer first buys the seller before he buys what the seller sells. So the idea is make your relationship and things happen. I can tell you examples where in one of the countries I visited, I met a customer who was very hostile to me. But when he was walking back after almost telling me to get out, he was walking with a little bit of a limp. So I asked him, sir, what's wrong? He said, I've told you to get out. Why did you get out? I said, sir, I know yoga. I can help you with some yoga. And I went down on my knees and did the cobra. And can you believe it? That customer of mine is still a customer of mine. If he had asked me to get out, and I had not built that relationship, so that matters. So all that I'm saying is, whenever you meet any customer, see that he likes it, whatever you have to do, go extra way. And that lesson, which I had learned 40 years ago in the Ashoka Hotel Convention Hall, has still remained the same. Technology has changed everything, but everything remains the same also. And I'm very happy when I took over, I was very keen that we would make these initiatives that the FMS Forum has more FMS-centric. So we try to get as many FMS alumnus as we can that we do now. Lastly, I met the Dean, Professor A. Venkatraman, about when I took over as president, and our first meeting lasted for more than 1 hour, 30 minutes. And I was so impressed by him that I came back thinking, why is he not in the corporate sector? Because he had the vision, he had the result-oriented. So much so, in October, I was leading a delegation to Russia, and I got a call from Professor Venkatraman, why don't we talk to some universities who are part of BRICS? And let's see if we can do some kind of linkages, and we've had some video conferences on this. With these words, I would like to end my address, and I would like to please invite Professor Venkatraman for his opening remarks. Thank you.